So I made a video today, as you're about to see, about me making handles and pulling handles and attaching them. And then this afternoon, I went on my YouTube subscriptions and I was watching a video of Simon Leach, and it happened to be the exact same thing that I had made a video about today. It was pulling handles and how to attach them to mugs. And it reminded me in that video how much of a novice I really am with pottery, because he even talked about how when he first started out, he was very particular and kept touching everything and smoothing things out. And now it takes him less than 5 minutes to attach a handle. And so, just a reminder, I am a novice, and the way I do things are the way that somebody has not done this very much. So, this is just the way that I do it at this moment in my journey. So when you're watching this video, don't think that I'm an expert. I'm not, okay? I'm still learning. I'm still trying to find my way of doing things quicker. And I'm still learning by watching those that have been doing it forever. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all next time. And don't forget, I'm still learning. Hey everybody, it's Lisa with TNL Pottery. Today I am pulling handles and I am attaching them to some mugs. I like pulling handles because to me, when I'm making something, I want to be making all aspects of it. So pulling the handles, I'm still learning, okay? Granted, I've only been doing this for a little while, and so all of my handles come out a little bit different each time. And so I'm going to show you the steps that I do on pulling handles and how I attach them. And none of them ever come out exactly the same. So I try and get them kind of similar, but I think that's part of what's great about buying something that's handmade, is being able to see what the artist actually created, and it's not gonna all be exactly the same like a machine made it. So come with me and we'll start pulling on handles. The first thing I do is get about a pound or a little less than a pound of clay, and I wedge it together, and then I try and coil it a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit, and get it into that shape. Then once I've pulled down some, I get my hands wet and just start pulling. I mean, it's different for everybody. There's no exact way of doing it. I do not put a lot of pressure on my fingers. I put the clay between my thumb and my index finger and kind of let gravity do the work. I put a slight bit of pressure, but not a whole lot. You have to have the same amount of pressure for the entire pull, all the way past the clay. Otherwise, you'll get a little knot at the bottom, which is what I keep getting, is the little knot at the bottom. Even though it feels like it's not that, feels like I'm not putting that knot there, like I'm going all the way down, but that doesn't always tend to be the case. So I just pinch it off, and then whenever I have it the size I want, I pinch the top off too. Okay, so now I've got the handles pulled and I'm attaching them. This is one that I have already done, one of the mugs that I've done. I know my handles kind of stick out a lot, but it's because I don't like them going over the rim, and I like there to be enough room for
even big hands for it to be comfortable, because my husband has hands twice the size of mine, and so when it's comfortable for me, it's not really comfortable for him. So I like making them to where they'll fit any kind of hand. So that's one handle attached. I have all of my handles made. As you can see, whenever I curl them way more than they need to be, because I was having issues with them cracking at the seam where I attached them. Tim C gave me some advice about it, and he has a video. While the clay is drying, if you have it in the perfect shape that you want, while it's drying, it's expanding. And so then it expands more than the shape that you want. So whenever you go to attach it, you're pushing it back together, and that causes stress cracking, because the clay is going to constantly keep drying and pulling this way. And so once you've attached it and you've kind of pulled it back this way and you've attached it, it's going to want to keep going that way. So one thing that he suggested was you over curl them, and that way you have flexibility to curl them, pull them out when you're attaching them, and that way when it's drying, it's not trying to keep pulling out more and more. So I have found that it works and it helps me. So that's what I do. Okay, so I have my handle, and I find a spot on the mug that I don't really like, and that's where I'll tend to attach my handle. I'll just kind of see where I want it, and obviously I'm going to have to cut it. So I always cut my top and my bottom at an angle. That way when I go to attach it, I can just put it like that, okay? And so I do the same with my bottom, which it's probably going to need to be.
Once I get the handle positioned where I want it, I just make some marks as to where I'm going to score and slip. And then I just score and slip both the mug and the handle. The slip that I use is just what's in my slop bucket from throwing on the wheel. And I also use the excess water in there to help smooth everything out on the handle. When attaching the handle, I make sure I put pressure on the two spots, the top and the bottom. That way it gets really into the mug and it has a good attachment so it won't crack or fall off. I sometimes use my finger with some water to smooth it out, and sometimes I just use a paintbrush. And this is where I touch the clay a little too much. And it really doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to put glaze on it anyways, but I have a tendency to still mess with it a little too much.
after I've attached all the handles, I put them in plastic tubs for overnight or for a few hours. That way the handles and the cups, the moisture from the two of them can even out. So that's how I put my handles on and attach them and let them dry. What's his name? Lynch. And move y'all to where you can see. What's the word I'm looking for?